It's up to date with the AFL happenings while we're live from Warrawee Park in Oakleigh for this round 11 VFA game between Oakleigh and Williamstown. The Oakleigh Devils, a young outfit, coached by Shane O'Sullivan, first-year coach. Of course, he's got a depth of experience. But this team, of the 32 players they've used this year at Warrawee Park, 18 of them are first-year players in the famous purple and gold colours. The ladder sees the two combatants today down in 10th and 11th position. Williamstown in 10th, haven't finished worse than 7th since 1983. Oakleigh in 11th, wooden spooners for the last two seasons, and Coburg on the bottom there. They've never failed to win a game in a single season in their 68-year VFA history, so something for them to look for before the season's out. Here's the Oakleigh lineup, the same 18 as in the press, but a totally rearranged team, apart from Ruckman Burton and Rover Todd and fullback James. Well, Shane O'Sullivan's team come into this game after a confidence-shattering defeat last week at the hands of Frankston.
Oh, it was a terrible performance, particularly in the last quarter where they just, kicked 12 goals. And as I say to the players, I reckon you can always get some sort of result out of a game or something out of a game, but we got nothing out of that because we just didn't work hard enough. And we've really worked hard on the track this week to make sure that doesn't happen again.
The Williamstown team, and Troy Maloney is out with a hamstring injury sustained at training. Julian Shanks comes in on a half-forward flank. And with 9 goals last week, no surprise that Tony Pastori will line up at full forward. Bloom comes into the ruck roving position. Well, apart from the injuries to Maloney and Ian Rickman, the Williamstown team, according to Barry Round, who spoke with Ross Booth before the game, is starting to look, at least on paper, like it's back to full strength.
Yeah, it is. Eventually, we had a lean period there where all of our experienced blokes were out at the same time with Billy Swan and Tags and Marcus O'Connor, and then Tony Pastori went overseas for a couple of weeks just to help things out more.
It's very popular, but I guess the conditions make you feel at home. It's so windy.
Yeah, I just said to the fellas that if we put the water over the backside of the ground, it'd be just like playing it, Willie, so we should be able to adapt to it, I think.
Well, in fact, there's a cemetery over on that side of the ground, so they won't want to play that cemetery wing this afternoon. With me in commentary, as usual, Philip Cleary and Sam Kekovich. Good afternoon, fellas.
Good afternoon, Peter. How are you?
It's been a while since we've been out here. I think it was April 1991 since we last did an Oakleigh home game. Given the respective positions on the ladders of those two teams down near the bottom, what sort of game can we expect?
Well, it'll be certainly a keen game. Oakleigh had a couple of good wins, beat Sandy early in the season. They'll be looking to notch up another one today. And Willie, with a faint chance of making the 5, will be pulling all the stops out. On paper, they look a good side. They have to win today. I think they will win, but not easily.
Yeah, I think it'll be a competitive encounter. There's no doubt about that, Phil. I like Oakleigh. I'll give them a real chance. Bicknell's a very good player. They've got a good spread of talent, and they've done very well under Shane O'Sullivan. Todd will obviously tag Ghazi. That's the ploy that they'll adopt. And right across the ground, I just feel that Williamstown, with 93 virtually escaping them for in terms of a finals proposition, I just believe Oakleigh can pepper them early and really harass them. I believe some of the players that have been finals orientated may just lose that bit of desire, and Oakleigh could just get away with it.
Really good point, Sam. Ross Booth, the wind, what sort of a factor is it going to be? Good afternoon.
Well, for the first quarter, it's going to be blowing straight across the ground and northerly, but in the background, you should see some dark clouds. I think it's going to come in pretty bad in a little while, and that'll favour the left of the screen. Williamstown kicking to the right of the screen to start up. Tony Pastori up there at full forward, and Peter Cameron, his second game in a week on television, along with Darren Framano.
And Peter Cameron pays the first free kick. Left of screen was the scoring end in the reserves, and that's where Oakleigh are going in this first term. And as Sam rightly has pointed out, there's Todd and Ghazi close together.
No wind advantage, just straight across the ground, I don't think, but it's going to come in very dirty later. O'Connor back through the legs.
30 knots, they tell me, Ross.
Really? Shot goal by Bloom, I think it might have been, was it?
Oh, I think it might have been Gould.
Well, it's got the distance. We'll see it on.
Julian Shanks, was it?
Marcus O'Connor played a part in it.
He got the hand.
He paddled the ball out, wasn't
I think it was Gould that kicked it. He's coming out towards the wing here, I think.
That's a good goal, coming into that breeze. Almost kicking to the face of the breeze.
And Brett Gould it is.
Indeed, and just sneaks in.
Look at those dark clouds at the back, Phil. Liamonth, short and the tall there, to centre wing. At the back was Williams. Coming through Swainston, 43. Oh, Venner goes into the tackle, and there'll be a free.
Out all day. Thank you. Hand it over. Well done.
To Bonnie. Outside 50, you can see. Breeze from left to right, very strong. Allowed for it.
Oh,
Well done, Steve Bonney. Good kick. The former Sandringham Zebra. The first goal for the Devils.
a very gifted player, this guy. Good hands.
Puts it into the centre, slightly attacking side. Good kick to position, but intercepted McGowan. O'Connor on a lead. A little bump from Young. Back to Gould. Up towards Williams. Got up high. Misjudged it with a Breeze taking it away from him. Pace by McTaggart. And I wouldn't call him a veteran, but the seasoned player showed he's still got a turn of speed there and kicks Williamstown second.
Yes, Brett McTaggart been around a long time. Remember all the Willie Grand Finals since 85. Had a run at Essendon in the mid-80s. We see him burst through here, and he really does show a bit of speed here.
Full
He
head of
wants the
steam,
goal.
isn't he?
Great player, Brett McTaggart, over the years. Beautifully balanced, great kick.
Playing his 177th game, had injury problems this year.
Perhaps a little bit to the left, but not much. I went out and threw the grass in the end. It just whisked away straight across the ground. Didn't see where it went. Oh, Owen splits the pack. Loves to kick a goal, Mickey Owen. And I think he's got it. Well done to the captain. He too showed a turn of speed for his years.
And a lot of experience too by steadying himself. How many times do we see a number of players in that situation just blaze away? But he summed the situation up to a nicety. Did Michael Owen, the skipper, and we'll see it on screen here, did it all solo.
He shouldn't have been allowed to get back onto his right foot.
No, just cut a path through the lunging Williamstown defenders. And that's a very, very good controlled kick.
Zamical in ruck as well. O'Connor coming through. It's stolen from him by Matthew Quirk. Over the head of Jordan. Good mark, Mickey Owen.
He's an inspiration, he is.
Did I hear a whistle there or not? The mark, anyway. Being paid. And Peter Cameron's found a free kick against Hoare.
Well, this is very good umpiring, this, and he is a very good umpire, Peter Cameron. He's right up with a play, and he spots all these indiscretions that defenders invariably commit, holding on all the time, and it's good to see them being paid.
Dennis Stubbs with Essendon reserves last week. A good kick at goal from the youngster, 18 years old. And it's a good start by Oakleigh, although they perhaps slightly have the scoring end.
Of course, the son of former Hawthorn player Ron Stubbs, both Dennis and Regan Stubbs. And they've been wonderful acquisitions, and that was a terrific mark by, firstly, Mike Owen, but there was the free paid.
Close together. Burton won that with a bit of height. Howlett in trouble. Hazel tackling. Jordan putting the tackle on. Williamstown under pressure in defence. Now, Owen, the captain. Number 2, will the win bring it back?
Oh, Stubbs!
What a turn. What a turn.
Well, Maradona's had the flick from Italian football. He's come to Wirrawee Park. What a goal from Dennis Stubbs out of nothing.
That's improvisation, Peter.
Well,
at its very best, Philip.
Well, as the ump, I think it was Peter Cameron calling touched.
Yes, it was
and
touched.
you're thinking that the ball's just going to drift by and bounce through. And look at, you wouldn't believe that he could get a foot to that. That is very smart football. We're just saying that he's got a bit of potential, this boy.
Ghazi took it away. Hazel put the tackle on him. Jordan. Howlett's tap. Swan, number 13, talking to his teammate Greg Minot. Camped over on the dead side of the ground. There's Long with the mark. Good running from Swan. Open forward line for Williamstown. Can they take advantage? O'Connor brings it to ground. Charging through is Smith. Williams. Oh, gave it straight to McTaggart. Here's Ghazi. Saadi Ghazi for the first major of the quarter. Trickled it through beautifully. So that means the difference now is 2 goals exactly in favour of Oakleigh.
Yeah, good play by Ghazi. Good running, hard running.
Only 3 possessions, Sam.
Yeah,
so
well, he's been subject to a lot of attention, Ghazi, but on this occasion he broke the shackles of the Brian Todd tag and linked up well, and an intelligent kick too. He realised that the surest way through is along the ground.
After Oakleigh got the start that they and some others wanted, remains to be seen whether they can hold on with Willie at the Breeze. Bicknell, centre wing. In short, Hazel. Plenty of support there. Unusual style of kicking. Bounced off McGowan. Whipped out by Dennis Stubbs. Ran into a wall was Todd. Got clear.
Oh, great goal.
Good goal, Brian Todd. Rode the bump. Steadied and snapped truly.
Well, he squared the ledger, Ross, because he's tagging Ghazi, and Ghazi shook him off a moment ago. Well, he's repaid the club there. But it was good play. They just continued to drive ahead in packs. They had numbers to the ball, and this was strong play this occasion by
Was he
Todd.
ever retarded?
Peter Cameron called it. I heard him say you've got to have hold of him, and he was caught for a second, but he was breaking clear.
Young. Chasing his Simons. Young long up towards Stubbs. Strong and Hall got one. It was a bit accidental.
The book's coming out too.
Is it?
Well, the umpire was
watch it closely.
We'll see. Open hand.
He's trying to hit the ball.
No malice intended there.
Get the game going. Get the game going.
So there's umpire Cameron calling to his fellow umpire, and the game is going. Howlett kicks to centre wing. Fisted away by Regan Stubbs. Young caught high.
Well, Darren from Mano, did he get his book out?
Well, he moved to... Well, the hand went to the pocket, but maybe Peter Cameron said get on with it, and he didn't bother.
Well, he might have to remember it and put it in the book later on. Williamstown having to really earn their kicks and their possessions. O'Connor, that puts Bloom under pressure. He did well not to take possession there. Swan swoops. Goal.
Well, they certainly needed that, the Seagulls. And there's the man on screen, Billy Swan, fast approaching the 300 mark. Been around VFA football for a long, long time, way back in the mid-70s. 13th possession for the game. We see him swoop on it here. Billy's always very neat whenever he uses the ball. And that was an example.
Attempt to spoil, and Smith showed courage. Making it hard for Shanks, but he chipped it pretty nicely. Ghazi filling his face. Loose ball for Bloom. In support is O'Connor. Good snap on the left foot by Marcus O'Connor. Well done. And Williamstown hit back. They're within 7 points.
Fair handball, well done.
O'Connor looked one way, handballed the other to Minor. Swan.
Moves
More
off.
open looking forward line for Williamstown. Swan rung it right in. Good Mark Pastore, he's got that one.
Deceptively good overhead for his size, Tony Pastore. He always gets a big purchase on the ball.
Only his 5th possession today. Last week he had a day out, kicking 9 goals. He's got his first, I think, today, and Williamstown hit the front for the first time in the match, 24 minutes into the second quarter. Couldn't get a boot to it. Shanks.
Good play.
Yeah, nicely got himself clear there. Oh, that's almost a free kick against Briggs. It is. Zamical, not without a chance to score a goal here.
That bit of play by Shanks was just sheer brilliance, and he really should produce more of it, Sam. He's got great talent, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got the ideal physique for the game. Well built.
Beautiful
good recovery.
balance.
Yeah, he's good. Very good balance. And very, very agile. And good turn of pace.
Stephen Zamical going for goal. It's his first. They've kicked 5 in this quarter, Williamstown, to 1 for Oakleigh.
With Young.
Up with it, keep tapping.
Now McTaggart hooks it back, 1-on-1. Williams. Oh, well done by Swainston. Running onto Pastore. Oh, lovely. Just what Oakleigh didn't want. Another Williamstown goal, next 6 for the term.
Well,
Yeah, just lost the plot, haven't they? Winning the ball, you're right, Phil.
In the midfield, though, Sam, the Seagulls are really asserting their superiority now in the midfield and driving the ball very neatly. And there's Tony Pastore onto that in a flash. He's very good at putting those through.
Throws it onto his foot. It's at half-back. Corey Young. Good gather in the conditions. Kicks to centre wing. And the relief of those players, I suggest they can get out of this heavy rain here at Warrawee Park. At half-time, it's a narrow lead. 13 points to Williamstown.
Well, that's a 30-point turnaround from quarter time when Oakleigh kicked with the breeze in the first term. to go to 17 points up. It was 6 goals to 1 in that second quarter for Williamstown to give them the half-time break. Pastore's kicked 2. All the rest single goal kickers. That umbrella has just about had it. Still a half of football to go. McTaggart, Swan, O'Connor, Zamical, Ghazi and Gould all have single goals for the Seagulls, while for Oakleigh, 2 to Stubbs, singles to, that's Dennis Stubbs, singles Bonnie, Todd, Quirk and Owen. It's half-time here at Warrawee Park and Williamstown lead Oakleigh by 13 points.
Like that bit of penetration, as you say, experience.
Ross, was it steaming mugs of tea and feet in hot water during a half-time break?
No, we went into the Oakleigh rooms. They're still very serious about this game. Although Matthew Quirk did say at the Bureau forecast snow, it's that cold and round. He said that they wish we were playing on Sunday. It's all our fault. But still, the breeze coming in right to left and very, very cold. So it's just going to be an absolute slog in this second half. But Oakleigh, they still feel they've got a chance.
And Young has kicked inaccurately.
Back to the wing. Shanks, a little paddle to Zamical. Oh, the big fellow. Oh. Great skills. The kick is a shocker. It still stays in play. Ghazi. It's Dinatali, I think, kicks it to the boundary. The coach says, well, I'm all wet now. It doesn't matter.
He'd rather be up at the Brisbane Bears now, I reckon. Shane Sullivan.
Yeah, supreme optimist, wasn't he, Zamical?
So if you poke your head outside your front door, viewers, you'll realise how cold it is. O'Connor grabbed by Young without the ball.
Sweeps it wide to Moreland. Should have gone 2 hands. It was Bicknell actually left it behind. And the kick from Howlett finds Shanks. This is going to rebound on them very quickly. Howlett's run all the way down. Got it back from Shanks. Good mark almost to James. Pastore battles on. Zamical. McTaggart hands it off to Pastore. Goal number 3. And that all came from Brendan Bicknell going at it one-handed midway between centre and half-forward.
Exactly right, Peter. Yeah, good play by Minette.
It's very important to get that ball in the corridor, though, Sam, isn't it? Spending a lot of time on the boundaries. And Oakleigh will need to get it there if they're to score goals.
Yeah, they're having enough play. Oh, held without it was Todd. Now he's got it and he's tackled by Shanks.
Well, there's a classic example of that ruck duel. Venom.
He's had 18 possessions.
The players have just got to be a bit more creative, Sam. They're really not doing anything special at the moment, just sort of accepting that it's wet and the ball's got to stay on the deck.
Simons takes the bit between his teeth. Kick finds Zamical. Shanks is calling for it. Well, you saw the target was Johansson. In the way was Matthew Quirk. Now Bicknell. Short quarter, as only 1 goal was kicked, just 3 minutes of time on were played, and the whole quarter was played for nothing because the difference is as it was at half-time, 13 points to Williamstown. Pastore was the only goal kicker in that term. He's got 3. All the rest of Williamstown's goal kickers individuals with singles, and for Oakleigh, Dennis Stubbs hasn't added to the 2 goals he kicked in the first term. So, well, I don't know that the wind is that much of a factor now with this heavy rain that's fallen since just before half-time, so it's a real slog. Can Oakleigh get the advantage back? 1 quarter to be played here at Warrawee Park, and it's the visitors, the Seagulls, up by 13 points. Tap from Newman. O'Connor, tackled by Newman. Dinatali breaks another one. Well, snagged by Simon Lloyd. Oh, chance for Williamstown here. Pastore got the break on James, told to settle and kick a goal. If he did, it would be a long way back for Oakleigh.
Yes, I think the exorcism may well be completed after this on the Devils.
And there's the lead from McTaggart. Good kick from Pastore. So McTaggart, that 15 metres closer, will make all the difference. Accuracy is the only factor here.
He's a very good kick, Brett McTaggart.
Somewhat forlorn figure on the mark in the form of Neil Jordan. Arms up.
The captain makes no mistake. He's second. Only the 3rd player to be a multiple goal kicker. But importantly, the first goal of the last quarter is Williamstown.
Yes. In fact, their entire defence. Minette, McGowan, Howlett, Lloyd.
Oakleigh desperately need a goal here. Is it a high tackle? Stephen Bonney gets one around the ear. Well, he's been their top possession getter. And if he could put a goal through here, his second of the afternoon, that'd still be a chance. Down by 19 points. 25 possessions for Stephen Bonney. Can he make this one count? You bet he can. 13 points, as it was at half-time again, in favour of Williamstown.
Well, it's the proverbial Indian arm wrestle, Philip, isn't it?
Yes.
Either side yielding, and there's no doubting that free kick, even though he ducked into it, but still. It was
A little bit
clear.
of luck, and Oakleigh could be right in amongst it.
We only had 11 minutes, 10 minutes.
Good run from Simons. Swan in the right place. Well, since quarter time, Bill Swan's been in everything. Oh, and again, he gets some great distance. What a goal, Swanee! Well, he's just got that little bit of extra nous, hasn't he, gathered in 295 VFA games.
And he's produced plenty of it today, Peter. Now, who said he couldn't kick a long ball? That's gone from 50 metres. And it's landed, well, it's gone right about 50 metres, right on the line. That's a big kick with a heavy ball.
As well. Went straight to Bloom, his opponent. They kick off the ground. Bicknell will get the free kick for out in the full. In front of the Nick Quadara stand. Terrific of the Oakleigh people to come around in the rain to bring us our afternoon tea.
Yes.
Great devotion to duty and to our well-being.
Here,
Kick
Peter.
forward.
Well said.
Straight to Zamical. He's taken a lot of marks today, Stephen Zamical.
Been the best forward.
7 marks. And that's a mark too to Shanks, who's been in everything. Haven't seen anything of Long there on the left. He went off holding his wrist early on. I think it might have been in this first or second quarter. First quarter, and so he'd be quite happy, I think, to sit it out from here on in. Shanks to put it beyond doubt if he goals. Has it got the distance? It has. That's the killer. 26 possessions, and Julian Shanks kicks his first goal.
Now there's where to put the ball.
And there's the rover. Yes, it's a goal. Johansson. That's the perfect example why you kick it there. The little guys just swarm around those, and an opportunist goal from Stephen Johansson.
And that's a difference, Phil. Remember that third quarter, Oakleigh had the ball in a comparable situation, I would venture to say, half a dozen times, but couldn't do what Johansson and Williamstown did on that occasion.
And when we talk about percentages, often it sounds like a cliche, but that's a clear indication. Corey Young at the other end kicks it out of bounds. Brett McTaggart, with all his experience, puts it right in front of the square, and you get a goal.
Done a lot of heavy work today. Got himself involved in the mainstream of traffic.
Knock it on, knock it on!
Pastore knocked it well. Good work from Simons. Beautiful handball. McTaggart gets another goal.
His third.
Well, that was really good play in atrocious conditions. They handled the ball well there and found a teammate every time, and I thought Simons did very well.
Yes, it was a big handball too, Peter. It's very hard for players with a wet ball to handball the ball this far. I mean, he gave it a bit of an oomph, didn't he? Good 10 metres, and Brett McTaggart, Johnny on the spot, Sam.
Exactly.
On the boot.
Bit of experience, Philip.
They kicked
It
5
counts.
goals this term,
Yeah.
Williamstown.
Williams tap. Pastore. Zamical runs back into traffic. Oh, good snap. Oh, great goal. Well, I didn't know that he knew what he was doing there for a while, but he threw them off his trail. Stephen Zamical, second goal.
I thought he lost his bearings there, but he obviously knows something we don't, and gee, he's played a super game, the big bloke. He's made light of these heavy conditions. He's defied all logic that big men don't handle the heavy conditions, but that was a wonderful snap. 8 marks to the big man, Paul Field, our statistician, informs us.
There's the kick at goal from Swainston, is knocked through for a behind. So if he can get to training once, you'd think he'd be back in the team next week.
There's no doubt. Actually, I spoke to Shane O'Sullivan regarding Heath Shepherd, and whilst the players thought that they would make an exception and have Shepherd back because of the problems associated with his workload, Shane said, no, we've made a hard and fast rule for the club, and it's got to be adhered to by everyone. I think it's a wonderful policy adopted by Oakleigh, even though it's perhaps hurts, but I think in the long run, they'll win out.
Good sign there that Marcus O'Connor was really disappointed not to have been paid the mark, even though they've got it won. He played a good 4 quarters, but Williamstown just wore Oakleigh down. After a spirited start from the Devils, they could only kick 2 goals after quarter time, while Williamstown kicked 13. And they ended up convincing winners. 44 points in the end. It was 17 points to Oakleigh at quarter time, 13 at half and 3/4 time to Williamstown, and they ran away with it with another 6-goal to 1 quarter in the finish. 3 goals to Brett McTaggart and Tony Pastore for the winners. Stephen Zamical got 2 along with Bill Swan. Singles to Gould, Ghazi, O'Connor and Shanks. While for Oakleigh, as we see umpires Cameron and Framano troop off, Dennis Stubbs was really unsighted after quarter time. He got 2. Steve Bonney kicked 2 from the middle. His opponent Swan kicked 2 as well, and they both got near 30 possessions, so they cancelled one another out today. Todd, Quirk and Owen got singles for Oakleigh. So 3 wins for the season for Oakleigh, 5 now for Williamstown to keep their faint hopes of a finals berth alive. A bit of percentage for them today in the end, so that'll be handy. You wouldn't think if the weather's like this tomorrow there'll be really big victories for the teams that are battling with them to stay in finals contention. Stephen Venner bleeding profusely from the nose there. Must have copped that very late, because he would have been taken off the ground if that had been the case early on. But very happy Williamstown with this win in pretty atrocious conditions. They're singing the team song. I wonder if we'll hear Ross Booth with the man of the match interview.
Yes, wasn't sure, Peter, whether you wanted to hear the song. Yes, we've got our man of the match. It's Julian Shanks and David Triplow, Chief Superintendent, who's almost an expert at this, about the 4th time to present the VicSafe Man of the Match Award. David.
Well played, a top game, and it's very good to see you. No doubt you want to go and have a nice warm shower now.
Yeah, no worries about that. Yeah.
Julian and the keys to the Mazda, the nice red one over there. I hope it didn't get too wet.
No worries. First of all, I'd like to thank VicSafe and Mazda. It's a bit wet out here today, but the boys did well. It's a team effort, and everyone put in real well, and I'd just like to thank all the boys as well.
Have you played in worse conditions than that?
Yeah, I have actually in Ballarat once, where I'm snowing up there, but this is pretty bad.
Right, you came from Ballarat?
Yeah. And it was,
which club?
North Ballarat. And it was snowing up there one day, but today was all right.
Right, we're almost staying here. Yeah. Now, how are you affected by the drafting of the Footscray? Was that last year or the year before?
No, it was last year, July last year or whatever, and I done most of the pre-season there, and then just come back to Willie. I love it there, and it's a good bunch of blokes.
Does it affect you mentally, because you haven't had the same year as you had last year?
No, not really. No, not really. It's just attitude thing you got to get, I suppose. It takes a while to get into it, but once we got back into it, we're right now.
Yeah, and what's been troubling Williamstown this year? A few injuries, or?
Oh yeah, we've had a few blokes out, and the boys are just trying to stick together. That's the main thing, and once we stick together, we should win a few more on the board, and we should be right for the rest of the season, hopefully.
OK, thanks, Julian. Well, certainly Williamstown really came home with 6 goals in that last quarter. Our man of the match, our VicSafe man of the match, Julian Shanks of Williamstown.
I think Box Hill will certainly make it. And not only that, but I think that could be a dark horse for the flag.
Enough.
A good free running side.
Did you say some amazing things?
Enough of our prognostication for the moment. I think we've got Barry back online with Ross.
Yes, thanks, Peter and the boys. Yeah, well, you're soaking wet, Barry.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting day, wasn't it? Weather-wise.
It was. But from the football side, a great finish by your boys.
Yeah, it was. We definitely saw today as a danger game, and we approached it that way, but half-time, I suppose it was evenly poised, but our boys persisted, and in the finish, they were terrific.
OK, well, we've spoken a lot to you, so we'll have a quick word at Chops. OK, well done, Barry. Now, how bad's this calf injury, Ian?
About another 3 or 4 weeks, I think, Boothie.
So you're not hanging up the boots?
Nah, not at this stage, mate. Nah, still too young for that.
How old are you?
We'll keep it a secret.
It's in the record
30,
anyway.
Yeah.
30.
It's in the record, 27.
OK, well done. Well, good to see you back on the track.
Thanks,
and we'll have a word to Steve Zambic, who was a very fine player at centre-half forward. Well done.
Yeah, really enjoying the game, mate.
I thought we'd had enough enough water on the ground, but you took some good marks in the wet conditions.
Yeah, no, the ball was sticking to me all right. I'm really enjoying my footy at the moment, liking playing centre forward, and just hope the team can go on and make the finals now.
Okay, well, you've got a very hard task to make the finals in here, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No, we just put a few wins together and we'll be up there.
Well done. Well, I managed to keep dry all day, but of course I'm wet now. Bill Swan is over here. Congratulations on your game, Bill. We tossed your name around for man of the match. 37, and this is going to be your last year?
Oh, yeah.
You think it will?
Yeah, definitely. Getting too old, man.
The secrets of the trade in the wet?
Big yours?
The secrets of the trade in the wet?
Oh, well, I don't know. It's just one of them days. It's a shocking day, and it's very hard on the skills and that, but, just hopefully I got where the ball was and that, got a few kicks. I was pretty happy with the game. Yeah.
OK, we've got a few troubles in the background, so we'll keep moving around.
OK, thanks.
Simon Lloyd. All right. You've been troubled a bit by injury this year?
Just missed 2 weeks, jarred my knee at one point, but back into it now. It's great to have a win, and everyone's starting to play with a bit of character.
Have you played in worse conditions?
Oh, I probably have, against Box Hill last year in the first final, so yeah, it was great for a win today though. Everyone's starting to get a bit more confident. Yeah, it's terrific.
OK, and Steve Simons, you're a Bendigo boy, aren't you?
Yeah, certainly are.
What are the worst conditions you've played in?
Oh, no, I've had a few worse up around Bendigo way. Gets a bit wet up around Kyneton. But it was cold, though, yeah. No, it was good to have a win.
OK. Well, yes, I think they're just desperately to get into those showers, these Williamstown boys. And by the way, Phil and Sam, I did see Marty Melody on the bench, on the fence. I went over and said to him, where did you play? And he said, I played for Footscray against Geelong today at Cardinia Park. Played in the back line, didn't kick any goals, but I'm back here watching the side. They missed him today.
Well, that's good spirit, isn't it?
Well, his priorities are with Oakleigh, you'd think, wouldn't it? He didn't watch Footscray against Geelong. Well, it was a chance, I thought, to get in the seniors down there at Footscray this week.
Seeing the company was keeping on the terrace, you can understand why he came back to Oakleigh.
But fancy us doubting Ross's word in the first instance. I think he'll be absolutely peeved by that.
Just on Williamstown's chances, if they make the finals, you'd have to give them a chance of winning the premiership because they play Sandringham, Paran, Werribee, Preston, Frankston, Port Melbourne, Box Hill, 7 teams above them on the ladder before the September finals. If they beat their fair share of those,
well, they get in there. They're always a chance when they get into the finals. Well, that's the thing about
what a
them.
task.
Well, that's a difficult task. But on paper, it's a pretty good side. And there are a couple of others to come, and you're looking at me as if you don't agree, Sam. Come on,
let's have a look at the games to complete round 11 of VFA football. Sam has said he thinks Box Hill are a chance to take the premiership, and yeah, that you wouldn't discount them at all. But Preston tomorrow will be very desperate at home to keep their chances alive when they play them. Port Melbourne are at home to Frankston. What a beauty. That's 1 versus 3. Dandenong at home, a tough game for Werribee. Springvale are at home to Paran, and Sandringham against Coburg. Sandy would want to win that and win that well to get themselves up knocking on the door of the finals. Next week, our action will come to you live from Springvale, where we'll see the Vales against Werribee. So we've seen a lot of Werribee this season on TV, and I think they've won every time. Can the Vales upset the apple cart next week out there at Springvale from 2 o'clock? Well, we hope you've enjoyed the action this afternoon from Warrawee Park out here in Oakleigh. Our first visit for over 2 years, and it was a damp afternoon, but the action, I think the standard pretty good, turned on by both teams.
Well, it was a great game. It was a great game early, and Oakleigh, there's a lot to like about this side. They're very keen and young, and they'll get better, and Shane O'Sullivan's doing a big job.
All right, Phil, thanks for your comments this afternoon. Likewise, Sam Kekovich, on behalf of Ross Booth and all the ABC Live VFA football team, Peter G for ABC Sport.